Welcome to Table Read Tuesday's read of The West Wing. Woo! Written by Aaron Sorkin, who is famous for his dialogue and how he writes things. So it'll be cool to see how that comes across on the page. And I'm going to introduce you to these amazing actors that are going to be reading these roles. So first up is Aaron.
Hello, I am Erin Lillis. I am a voice actress, and tonight I'll be playing a few roles, but including Sam and Mandy. Sam was originated by Rob Lowe on this series.
Yeah, that was kind of cool to see. Like, I mainly of recent memory remember him from Parks and Rec. That's like the main one in my head now these days. But
Also a
next,
politician, right?
what'd you say?
I said also a
Oh,
politician.
yeah, that it's weird how people with casting do that. They kind of pitch it. I saw they did a role like this, and they actually did well. Let's put them in the same. But it's good to work. But I know he's done a lot of stuff.
Of course, even has a paranormal show, I think, with his sons.
Oh, I don't know that. But okay, we can talk about that later. Next, we have Roxane.
I am Roxane, Roxane Armstrong. I'm an actor in Central Alberta. Tonight, I am reading Too Many Rules to List. Yeah, that's it.
There's a lot of roles, a few major ones, other ones that have like just one line.
Yeah.
So
it's my first time back in a few months, so I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, and I didn't ask that of Aaron. Is there yeah, you did say what you do, but did you also say where people can find you if you wanted to?
Oh, I did not. You can find me at erinlillis.com. I'm usually on the No Sleep podcast. And what else? Something that recently came out is called The Love Talker. It's an Appalachian folk horror. I'm in there somewhere. Those are the things that are new and exciting. More
Excellent.
to come.
Thank you. And then on you, Roxane, like what did you recently come off
New
of?
and exciting. Well,
or the thing that took you away from us for a little while.
It just was busy.
Yeah,
just
okay.
busy. I've been doing a bunch of improv. We actually have a show on Friday. I am also a social marketer for a health and wellness company and an actor. I'm doing some work next week to help, or actually later this week, I'm so confused, to help workshop the new script. So that's going to be super exciting. And I have a dinner theater that I'll be in the spring. This theater's kind of my safe zone. So yeah, I'm on Instagram as Roxane and on Facebook as Roxane Armstrong. That's where you can find me.
She does all of it while holding a pup.
And I do all of it well.
No, that's awesome.
Like,
that's awesome.
If it was a cat, wouldn't it be like Austin Powers or something?
Yeah,
bad guy? Some bad guy somewhere.
Or Inspector Gadget. That's where I know it from. The claw with the cat. That's my childhood memory.
Oh yes, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Keeping busy. Next we have Vicky.
Hello, I'm Vicky Dykes. I'm an actress from Central Alberta, and tonight I am playing Leo and Bartlett, Staffer number 1, Staffer and Van Dyke. What's happening? Well, right now I'm taking a little bit of hiatus from doing filming for my yoga show, which isn't out yet. It's taken a while, but hey, that's life. And right now I'm excited about tomorrow night. I have my first rehearsal for improv show that's going to be on December 1st. And it will be the first time I'm performing as a professional improviser. So I'm really excited about that.
That is awesome. Can you get somebody to film it so we can see it?
I don't know.
Which company is that with, Vicky?
Oh, Improv Jelly. Yeah.
That's super exciting.
I should have said that.
That's awesome. Next we have Kat.
Hi there. I am Kat Wilson from Gig Harbor, Washington, and I am reading the parts tonight of Toby and Mrs. Landingham, Margaret, economist number 2, also named Luther, a voiceover for a woman, and Mallory. And in my free time, I tend to admin a Shakespeare reading group called Two Households in Fair Corona.
And create amazing sets.
Oh, that was fun too. I was gone for 2 weeks, so they're making a 22-foot long pirate ship in our front yard out of plywood.
Yeah, that's awesome. So awesome. And we have Heather Lee Cameron.
Hello, my name is Heather Lee Cameron. I'm an actor, I'm a voice actor, I'm a writer, I'm a freelance journalist, and I'm a independent filmmaker. I live in Lethbridge, Alberta. Tonight I'll be reading Billy, CJ, Mary Marsh, staffer number 2, and student number 2. The recent stuff that came out was voice acting stuff, and that's amazing. That can be found on my Instagram profile, Heather Lee Freelancer. And it's just really cool Halloween related stuff that I'd be more than happy to go into detail to people who want to hear about it. So, because I announced it on Halloween, and yeah.
So on Instagram, do they have clips of your audio on there that we can hear?
I posted links to the projects as well as a picture of credits and things like that.
Cool, very cool. All right, we'll have to check that out. You guys are all so busy doing awesome stuff. That's so great.
And there's stuff yet to come in 2024 as well. And also the project I'm involved in that's for Canada Food Banks and Feeding America, that's going to be released in December.
Wow, cool. Very cool. All right, well, thank you guys. We'll get started. Jacob Patrick hosts Table Read Tuesdays often, and tonight
Imagineer at heart and amazing person who designs amazing things.
Thank you, Heather. Appreciate it. And tonight I'll be reading mainly Josh in Action and Descriptions. All right, so we will share and take that away somewhere, if I can find the share button. There it is. All right, you guys ready to go to the West Wing political TV show? I don't think we've done anything like this yet today. So here we'll go. The West Wing pilot, written by Aaron Sorkin. No draft. February 6, 1998. Copyright 1998. West Wing pilot. The sets. Then the cast. Kind of cool to see the inside behind the scenes of how they did it. Here we go. The West Wing pilot. Teaser. Fade in. Interior. Four Seasons Hotel. Georgetown. Night. The well-dressed and powerful are having an after-dinner drinks in a hotel bar. Sam Seaborn, 31, is at a table having a conversation with a reporter he'd rather not be having. What Sam would rather be doing is talking to one of the two women at the bar, particularly one who seems to be checking him out.
I don't think we're going to run the table if that's what you're asking.
It's not what I'm asking.
I know.
Deep background. I'm not going to come close to using your name.
You're not going to come close to getting a quote either.
Why are we sitting here?
You sat down.
Is Lyman on his way out?
I'm not talking about this, Billy.
Who do I call? Come on. Just tell me who to talk to.
Well, you could dial 1-800-BITE-ME.
Sam.
Joshua Lyman's not going anywhere, Billy. It's a non-story.
You're lying now, aren't you?
Gee, Billy, that hurts. Why would I lie to a reporter of all people? Is that woman looking at me?
Where?
Be cool at the bar.
Billy turns 180 degrees in his seat and looks at her.
Yeah, I think she was. For a second.
And I want to thank you for the casual way you did that just now. She probably didn't notice that.
Cut to exterior affluent street in Chevy Chase dawn. The sun is just beginning to rise over a large two-door. Interior Leo Jacoby's dining room continuous action. Leo Jacoby, 55 and professional, is eating cereal and working on the crossword. His coffee cup is refilled by a maid.
17 across is wrong. It's just wrong. You believe that?
Miss Jacoby steps in from the kitchen.
Telephone, Leo.
I'm in the shower.
It's POTUS.
Leo puts down the crossword and goes into the kitchen as we cut to exterior Georgetown, dawn. CJ, Craig, is jogging down the sidewalk past an empty stores in the village. She's 38, compact and athletic. And as she passes two men opening up a Starbucks, her beeper goes off. Hey, CJ, how's it going this morning?
Not too bad, Marty. Listen, could I possibly use your phone?
Sure. Cut to interior Lori's bedroom later. Lori, the woman from the hotel bar, is sitting up in bed and smoking a joint. Sam steps out of the bathroom just having taken a shower.
The water pressure in there is really impressive.
I know.
You could run hydraulics in there.
You want some?
I'm fine.
I'm wasted.
And probably free of cataracts.
I get that. That's funny.
Thank you.
Oh, God. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Your message. Your pager went off when you were in the shower. I thought it was mine, so I hit the button.
Sam takes a look at the message.
POTUS in a bicycle accident. Come to the office.
Sam starts getting dressed.
I memorized it in case I erased it by accident. Like I said, I'm completely baked. And though I want you to know, it's not like I'm a drug person. I just love pot.
Listen, Lori, I've got to go.
You're kidding. It's 5:30 in the morning.
Sam is throwing on his shirt and jacket.
I know this doesn't look good.
Yeah, not that good. No.
I really like you, and if you give me your number, I'd like to call you.
Well, stay right here and you save yourself a call.
And it's not that I don't see the logic, but I gotta go.
'Cause POTUS was in a bicycle accident.
Yes.
Lori picks up the pad and pen from the night table and scratches out her number. She stands up and places it in Sam's breast pocket as she plants a kiss on him.
Tell your friend POTUS that he's got a funny name.
I would, but he's not my friend. He's my boss, and it's not his name, it's his title.
POTUS?
President of the United States. I'll call you.
Smash cut to main titles. End of teaser. Act 1, fade in. Interior White House Northwest executive entrance morning. Leo passes the metal detector. It's a nice morning, Mr. Jacoby.
Well, we'll take care of that in a hurry, won't we, Mike?
Yes, sir. Leo starts walking through the corridors of the West Wing towards his office. Office doors are open along the hallways, and the staffers walk in and out. CNN and C-SPAN are on monitors. Leo pops his head into an outer office and calls to the back.
Josh.
Donatella Moss, Josh's assistant, walks in the door behind Leo, 25 and sexy without trying too hard. Donna is devoted to Josh.
Morning, Leo.
Oh, hey, Donna. Is he in yet?
Yeah.
Can you get him?
Josh.
Thanks.
Josh Lyman shows himself in his office doorway and indicates that he's on the phone and he'll be just a second. A youthful 38, Josh is Deputy Chief of Staff and a highly regarded brain.
What's the deal with the president?
They think it's just a sprain. He should be back later today.
What happened?
He was swerving to avoid a tree.
And what happened?
He was unsuccessful.
Hey.
How many Cubans exactly have crammed themselves into these fishing boats?
It's important to understand, Leo, that by and large, they're not fishing boats. You say fishing boats and you conjure up an image of, well, a boat. First of all, what the Cubans are on would charitably be described as rafts, okay? They're making the hop from Havana to Miami in fruit baskets, basically. Let's just be clear on that.
We are, and I think we all know where you stand.
Donna's desk, if it could float, would look good to them right now.
I get it. And how many are there?
We don't know.
What time exactly did they leave?
We don't know.
Do we know when they get here?
No.
True or false? If I were to stand on high ground in Key West with a good pair of binoculars, I'd be as informed as I am right now.
That's true.
The intelligence budget's money well spent, isn't it?
Send the Coast Guard, Leo. Come on.
The Coast Guard.
I understand, but they're never gonna make it to our territorial waters.
How are you doing?
I'm hanging in. Did he say anything?
Did he say anything? The president's pissed as hell at you, Josh, and so am I.
I know.
We got to work with these people. Where the hell do you get off? Straighten your...
I know. Leo takes a breath.
Al Caldwell's a good man.
Al Caldwell wasn't there.
I'm saying you take everyone on the religious right, dump them into one big pile and label them stupid. And when you piss off Mary Marsh, you piss off Al Caldwell. And Caldwell is Mrs. Bartlett's man on teen pregnancy.
It was stupid.
Yeah. Anyway, hang in there.
Leo takes off down the hallway. I was right, though.
Yeah, like I don't know that.
Cut to Interior Oval Office continuous action. Leo steps into the outer office where the president's private secretary, Miss Landingham, is at work with 2 young aides.
Oh, Mr. Jacoby, have they done an x-ray?
Yeah.
Is anything broken?
$4,000 state-of-the-art Linux titanium touring bike that I swore I'd never lend anyone.
I don't understand. Did he...
The president's klutz, Mrs. Landingham. He's a spaz.
Mr. Jacoby, you know how I feel about that kind of talk in the Oval Office.
Yes, and I'm... well,
Just in this room is all I'm asking.
yes, Bonnie.
Bonnie, one of the aides, follows Leo with a notepad through the Oval Office and the adjoining offices.
Could you call OEOB and tell them I can brief the vice president on the president's condition, and let's coordinate with Katie Simmons' office on the appointments. Oh, and maybe we can hand some off to senior staff.
Should I get everybody in?
Yeah. Margaret, call the editor of the New York Times crossword and tell him that Gaddafi is spelled with an H and 2 Ds and isn't a 7-letter word for anything.
Is this for real or is this just funny?
Apparently, it's neither.
Cut to Interior Leo's office continuous action. The White House Chief of Staff gets a nice office with a patio facing the south lawn. A platter of pastry and coffee is on the table as the senior staff members start to filter in for their morning meeting. 8 or 10 staffers sit around the room with a few aides standing nearby. From time to time, the secretary will slip in and hand someone a written message to be glanced over. CJ, Craig, the pretty athletic jogger we met earlier, is the White House press secretary and enters in a business suit. She is with Toby Ziegler, 40s, a rumpled and sleepless communications director. They join Sam, the deputy communications director. This is a close, if sometimes acrimonious group with Leo, a leader, much respected.
Is there anything I can say other than the president rode his bicycle into a tree?
He hopes to never do it again.
Josh enters with Donna.
Seriously, they're laughing pretty hard down there.
He rode a bicycle into a tree, CJ. What do you want me to... The president, while riding a bicycle on his vacation in Jackson Hole, came to an arboreal stop. What do you want from me, Sam? What do we know about the Cubans?
I don't know any more than Josh. Somewhere between 1,200 and 2,000 Cubans began embarking from a fishing village about 30 miles down the coast from Havana.
And where are they headed?
Atlantic City.
Miami, though it's not clear how sophisticated their navigational equipment.
Navigational equipment, that's way north, is pretty much where
Forget the voyage, okay? The journey is not the problem.
What's our problem?
What to do when the Nina, the Pinta, and the get the hell out of here hit Miami.
Sam?
We can cross our fingers and hope they have a valid passport, work visa, and driver's license.
Sam.
We can't send them back. They'll go to jail if they're lucky.
We'll be lynched in what? At least...
Probably 3 congressional districts.
No way do we take the seats we want in Florida.
To say nothing of the fact that it's wrong.
Plus that.
What about Texas?
I hear ya, but I wouldn't worry about it.
Sam, I want you to stay on this throughout the day and keep Josh in the loop.
The thing is, my day's a little tight right now,
Deal with it.
and I'm happy to, but isn't this...
Sam,
No, I'm just saying, isn't this more of a military area?
Military.
Yeah.
You think the United States is under attack from 1,200 Cubans in rowboats?
I'm not saying I don't like our chances.
Oh, it's mind-boggling to me that we ever won an election.
Pat Thomas doesn't know whether to call up the guard. We're going to set up a conference call in a half hour.
He shouldn't.
Not going to be strong enough to cause trouble.
You send in the guard and you create a panic situation.
I agree with Josh, and I agree with Sam, and I agree with CJ, and you know how that makes me crazy.
Yeah, I do.
They're running for their lives. You don't have to start a game of Red Rover with Castro, but you don't send the National Guard. You send food, and you send doctors.
Sam, see that INS is working with the Red Cross and the Centers for Disease Control.
Our point guy from CDC is on the phone right now. I can
Go talk to him.
talk to him.
Sam exits down the hallway.
Moving on.
Interior press briefing room day. A dozen or so reporters are standing and sitting about, mostly talking to each other. A few of them are in the back on laptops and telephones. Billy is holding up the court with 3 reporters.
I think you're wrong.
I had drinks with Sam Seaborn last night.
Seaborn said Lyman's getting fired?
That's not what I said.
CJ steps to the podium with some papers.
Folks,
2 aides begin passing out press packets.
The president will take him behind the woodshed, but he's not going to fire him.
good morning. Dr. Ronald Heyman, Haymen, Chief of Obstetrics at Case Western Hospital, has diagnosed the president with a mild sprain on his left ankle, sustained while cycling into a large tree. The details can be found in the copies of the pool report that Linda and Suzanne are distributing, along with pool photographs of President Bartlett resisting the help of a Secret Service agent, then falling down again. By all means, enjoy yourselves. Item number 2.
CJ.
It's a light day, Chris. Let's just get through this, then I'll take a couple of questions.
Cut to interior Josh's office day. Josh is at his desk playing a videotape back and forth on the television monitor, the tape of his previous night's appearance on Meet the Press. He appears opposite of a well-groomed middle-aged woman named Mary Marsh.
Not any god I pray to, Mr. Lyman. Not any god I pray to.
Lady, the god you pray to is busy getting indicted for tax fraud. And just as Mary Marsh starts to have a cow, Josh stops the tape, rewinds it, and starts to play it again. Josh looks up. Donna's standing in the doorway with a mug of coffee. Josh stops the tape.
You shouldn't have worn that tie on television. It bleeds.
I don't think it's the tie that got me in trouble.
Yeah, but I've told you a zillion times.
What's that?
It's coffee.
I thought so.
I brought you some coffee.
What's going on, Donna?
Nothing's going.
Donna,
I brought you some coffee.
close the door. Donna closes the inner office door. Donatella Moss, when did you start working for me?
During the campaign.
And how long have you been my assistant?
2.5 years.
And when is the last time you brought me a cup of coffee? Donna thinks. It was never. You never brought me a cup of coffee.
If you're going to make a big deal out of it.
Donna, if I get fired, I get fired. There's a knock at the door.
It's Toby.
You won that election for him. You and Leo and CJ and Sam.
Open the damn door.
And him.
Donna opens the door. Thanks for the coffee.
You're welcome.
She goes to her desk.
Donna brought you coffee?
Shut up.
Toby steps into the office. What's up?
What'd I say before you went on the air yesterday?
Don't get cute with Mary Marsh.
I said, don't get cute with Mary Marsh. I said Al Caldwell's not to be treated like a revival tent clown.
Al Caldwell wasn't there.
He was sure as hell watching.
Toby, I already took Leo's morning beating. What do you want from me?
I want you to keep your job.
How?
I'm going to make a suggestion that I think might help you, but I don't want this gesture to be mistaken for an indication that I like you.
I understand.
In preparation for a Sunday morning radio address on family values, my office is...
When did that get on the schedule?
Listen to me.
When did it get on the schedule?
It's a regular Sunday morning.
Yeah, but when did we schedule family values?
We scheduled it, Josh, after you gave your smug, taunting, calamitous performance on Meet the Press. America for Better Families, the AFF, and Al Caldwell, Mary Marsh. I invited them for a coffee this afternoon with a couple of speechwriters to talk about...
What they want to hear.
Yes.
If you listen, you can carefully, you can hear 2 centuries of presidents rolling over in there.
Come to the meeting.
No.
Come to the meeting and be nice.
Why?
So CJ can put it in the papers. I'm in charge of the message around here. It's my job to tell the president that the smartest thing he can do from a PR standpoint is to show you the door. Come to the meeting. Be nice. Keep your job.
Yeah, I'll be there. Toby
Look
turns
at
to
this.
leave.
Oh, look
Toby
at this.
takes out a small newspaper clipping. What's that?
One of the kids in the news office clipped it from the journal. Guess who left Lennox Chase to start consulting in town?
Josh looks over the article.
She's leasing the office space at the DNC. She's just moving in today.
Who's she working for?
I'm checking it out.
Josh looks at it a moment longer and smiles. It's a good picture of her. Fade out. End of Act 1. Act 2. Fade in. Exterior White House establishing day. Cut to interior Roosevelt room day. A meeting between Leo and some economic advisors is just breaking up.
The president's going to read this WBO revenue analysis and say that his council of economic advisors were put on the planet to make astrologers look good.
Josh slips into the room.
Talk to the man at the Treasury.
Luther, ballpark. 1 year from today. And where's the Dow?
Tremendous. Up 1,000 points.
Fred, 1 year from today.
Not good. Down 1,000.
A year from now, one of you is going to look pretty stupid.
No doubt about that.
Get out. Go.
The economists say their goodbyes and leave as Sam slips in.
There's a storm system moving into the South Florida area.
See, with any luck, the Cubans will turn around and live to defect another day.
Yeah, because they're probably all tuned into the National Weather Service. But that's not what I'm here for.
What's on your mind?
We got to look at the whole field for just a second, because I think there's a chance we're about to get tagged.
With regard to what?
Re-election. Don't let Lloyd Russell push the president over to the right.
Lloyd Russell?
Yeah.
You take him seriously?
His numbers are starting to get impressive.
Hollywood.
Yes, you're right. Hollywood likes him. He can raise money.
It's too early for him to run. He'll wait out another term in the Senate.
30-second hypothetical. You're Lloyd Russell, newly crowned prince of the white suburban woman, upper middle class black man, and the environmental lobby. You're young, professional, telegenic, and connected. And you're no friend to the sitting president. What do you think?
Think about running for president. But really,
And if you're thinking about it, who do you call?
you,
I've got a job.
for the moment.
Who do you get?
Well, I'd never get her because she's making $650,000 a year at Lennox Chase. But I'd get Mandy Hampton.
You'd be smart.
I should give her a call. We lost touch after the campaign.
You're in luck.
Is she in Washington?
She just got here today,
What's she doing?
working for Lord Russell. It takes Leo about 2 seconds to take this in. He opens the door and calls across the hall.
Margaret, get Senator Russell's office on the phone.
Josh and Sam start down the hall together.
How you doing?
I wish everybody would stop asking me that.
I'm not everybody.
I'm fine.
Mandy's in town.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it. She's probably just here because she wants your job.
Sam goes into his office as we cut to exterior glass office building, Conn Avenue, day. As we establish the Washington Business District, cut to interior office corridor, day. A moving man pushes a dolly loaded with cartons past the receptionist and down the hall. He stops when he gets to the suite 1401, where a workman is putting the finishing touches on the office door stencil reading Madeline Hampton Consulting. Interior, Mandy's office, continuous action. The office is smaller than what Mandy's grown used to, and at the moment, nearly every square foot of it is covered by moving cartons, stacks of them everywhere. In the middle of it stands Mandy Hampton, a fine-looking, instantly likable woman in her mid to late 30s. With her is her assistant, Daisy Reese, a chain-smoking 25-year-old super brain. Daisy is looking at her boss and mentor, waiting to hear her take on the office space dilemma. Mandy looks around one last time before rendering her analysis.
This is daunting.
The moving man has been waiting patiently. This is the last load.
Hey, look, Mandy, the cartons finally got here.
Where would you like these?
A corner office in the Chrysler building.
You can leave them right here.
The moving man unloads the cartons and hands Daisy the receipt over the following.
We had a plan. Didn't we have a plan?
Yes.
Tell me the plan.
Mark each carton with a letter of the alphabet. Note that letter on the list that corresponded to a description of the carton's contents.
Right. Perfect. Yes, and that way we separate the materials we need right away from the stuff we can put in storage.
Excellent.
Yes.
So here's my question for you. Where did you put the list?
Boy, the devil's in the details, ain't it?
Oh man, Mandy, please try and remember where you put it. This list can save me an enormous...
I know where I put it. That's not the problem.
Well, where did you put it?
In one of these cartons.
I quit.
It's not going to be that hard. It's just going to take a few extra man hours.
I'm going to be kneeling on the floor, sorting through floor charts and tracking polls for ever, okay? I'm going to be opening boxes forever. So it's a good thing I went to school for 18 years.
The plan looked promising on paper.
Start with the cartons on your side. We can work our way towards the middle.
Mandy is glancing at a newspaper.
Did you know there's a town in Iowa with 841 residents, each and every one of them who are named Miller?
Mandy, I'm like this close to setting you on fire.
How do you suppose they get their mail delivered?
Who gives a damn?
The receptionist appears in the doorway.
Excuse me.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Allegra. I'm the receptionist for the floor.
Mandy Hampton. This is my assistant, Daisy Reese.
This place is awful. It'll be fine once we get a few more cartons of crap in here. I guess your phones aren't turned on yet. There's a call for you at the reception desk. Joshua Lyman from the White House.
That didn't take long.
Cut to interior press office day. A mid-sized room with half a dozen staffers. Billy and 2 other reporters are waiting at the door as CJ approaches.
Guys, I don't have a lot of time to answer questions right now,
CJ, has
but that shouldn't stop you from asking them anyway. Chris?
has the president had any reaction to Josh on the show?
None that I'm aware of.
Do you know if the...
Seriously, guys, that's it. I'll get you the wheels down time when I've got it.
CJ walks through the room and into her office where Toby's waiting for her. Interior press secretary's office, continuous action.
They're picking up the scent.
Billy is. The rest of them are picking up Billy's scent.
Josh said he'd come to the coffee this afternoon.
Keep him cool.
Fade out. End of Act 2. Act 3. Fade in exterior White House day, establishing. Interior White House mess day. This small wood-paneled dining room has about a dozen tables and is staffed by Navy stewards. Sam is finishing up lunch with 2 congressional liaison staffers.
I don't use those stats.
The assault stats.
The assault stats are wrong.
Got them from your office,
And we got them from HUD.
and they're wrong?
Even if they were right, don't use them.
Well, A, let's make them right, and B, why can't I use them?
The 76-year-old grandmother.
Every time we use those assault stats, Carr and Gilmore come back with, oh,
Who's the 76-year-old?
Every day, 17,000 Americans defend themselves with a gun, including
Well, that's flatly untrue.
a 76-year-old grandmother in Chicago who defended herself against an intruder in the middle of the night.
Just
don't use the stat.
Sam's secretary, Kathy, a pretty Asian American, slips in and stands behind Sam during the following.
the 76-year-old grandmother doesn't defend herself with a modified AK-47 assault rifle, Larry. Not unless she's defending herself against Turkish rebels.
Excuse me.
You guys know my assistant, Kathy?
We talk a lot on the phone.
Yeah, hi. I need you for just a second.
Call me at the end of the day.
Sam and Kathy exit the dining room together. Cut to interior West Wing hallways, continuous action. Sam and Kathy talk on the way to Sam's office.
Leo's wife called.
Oh, God, this woman hates me. What did I do?
Well, you tried to hit on her at the Democratic fundraiser.
Yes, I meant recently. Why did she call?
She wants you to.
I didn't know who she was. How long am I going to be crucified for that?
Well, a little while longer anyway. 'Cause
Most women I would think would be flattered by that.
I guess I think Leo was especially touched that you.
What did she want?
She was supposed to give some students from her daughter's 4th grade class a tour. She can't make it. She wants you to do it.
I can't.
They walk into the offices of the White House communications staff. Interior outer office, continuous action.
You have to. They wrote essays.
No, really, I can't. I'm not a good tour guide. I don't know anything about the White House.
You want to call Mrs. Jacoby and tell her that?
Sam's pager beeps.
Oh, God, please let this be a national emergency.
We just recently recast that before we went live to Cat.
Oh, I thought there's a line.
Oh, is there? I am sorry. That's my fault. Sam picks up the phone and punches in the number on his pager. A woman picks up.
Champagne escorts.
Hi. You paged me?
Who is this?
This is Sam Seaborn.
I'm sorry, there's been a mistake.
Who's this?
Champagne escort service.
Okie doke.
Sam hangs up.
Page me.
Where are you going?
Standing right here. Just page me and punch in my number.
Kathy does as she's told. Sam watches his pager. Nothing.
You switched pagers with someone.
A woman's about to call me, and she's not going to know why. Put her through.
Sam goes into his office and closes the door. Cut to interior Sam's office day. Sam paces a moment before the phone beeps. He picks it up.
Hello?
Hello, you paged me?
Lori?
Who is this?
It's Sam. Sam Seaborn.
Hi. You called me.
Yeah, actually, you called me. And that's because you have my pager and I have yours.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, can I come by real quick and see you?
Cut to exterior upscale restaurant establishing. Cut to interior restaurant day. A crowded lunch spot for Washington Power. At a table, 2 female college students are looking at a magazine cover. Student number 1. Roxanne. Oh, with the dogs.
Sorry, I'm student 1.
Yes.
I missed it. It's him.
I'm going over there.
The 2 students grab the magazine as we follow them over to Josh and Mandy's table.
Excuse me.
We're sorry to interrupt your lunch.
We're juniors at Florida State.
We're with a poli-sci group that's.
He doesn't care.
Mandy is grinning at Josh, who's enjoying this.
We just wanted to say we think you're excellent. And could we have your autograph?
She puts down a copy of Washington Magazine, which has Josh's picture on the cover above the caption, "The President's Man." Sure. This is Madeline Hampton. She's excellent too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, from the campaign.
Didn't you guys used to be a thing?
Jennifer.
Is that personal?
Girlfriend, he was the love of my life. But he done me wrong, so I sent him packing and said, don't you come back no mo, no mo.
The students are in over their heads. She used to steal money from me.
Really?
Yeah, thanks a lot for stopping by. As they go back to their table,
Nice meeting
Yeah,
you.
nice meeting you. Bye.
Listen, you called me. What do you want to know? Is Lloyd gonna run?
I literally don't care one way or the other. He's a lightweight.
You don't like him.
Not when I can't use him, no. I just want to know how much trouble he's going to be on the budget.
You should get to know him.
I've got enough friends.
Not these days, you don't.
Suddenly, this stopped being fun. Josh regards Mandy for a moment. Leo doesn't think.
I'm not talking about what's good for the White House. I'm talking about what's good for you. You're a Fulbright scholar, Joshua. Are you honestly the one adult in America who doesn't think you're about to be fired?
Did you just call him Lloyd?
When?
Just now.
I don't remember. What does it mean?
It's unusual for you that you would call a senator by his first name to a third party.
A third party?
You know what I'm saying.
No, but as long as one of us does.
You're dating Lloyd Russell.
Yes.
Wow, that's great.
Are you going to freak out?
No, not at all. I thought he was gay.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
He's not gay.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
He seems very effeminate to me.
He happens to be very athletic, plenty masculine.
I think he's a woman.
You lost your cool on TV. Do what Toby's telling you to do.
There was one job for the two of us, and the president gave it to me. I think you'd be the last person who'd want to see me keep it.
The New York Times is going to release a poll in the next few days that brings your unfavorables up to 48%.
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
That's right.
Where'd you get this from?
We don't play for the same team anymore.
Hang on. 1 minute you're giving me career advice. The next you're...
I'm here for a while, Josh, and want you at your fighting weight when I start bitch slapping you guys around the hallway.
Josh smiles and takes a bite of his food. You and Lloyd Russell.
Yeah.
Interior Laurie's apartment day. As Laurie, in jeans and a Georgetown sweatshirt, answers the knocking at the door, Sam is sitting there in his overcoat.
Hi.
Hello.
Can I come in?
Sure.
Laurie lets Sam in the door. Sam stands awkwardly for a moment, resting a hand on the serving bar separating the kitchen from the living room.
This is a nice apartment.
You saw it last night.
Yeah, and I really like it.
Thanks.
It makes very good use of space. You know, the way the ladle and other utensils are on the pegboard?
Yes. And the ladle didn't actually come with the apartment. It's mine.
Sure.
Yeah.
So can I ask you something?
Am I a hooker?
No. What I was going to say was this. Is it possible that in addition to being a law student and part-time bartender, that you are what I'm certain would have to be a very high-priced call girl? I, by the way, make no judgments, but the thing is, with my job, you see, ever since the advent of the printing press.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have told you. I wanted you to like me.
I did. I do.
Yeah, that's sweet.
It's true.
Oh, stop rhyming.
Sam looks at her. He really does like her.
I gotta go.
He waits a moment, then moves to the door.
Sam,
Yeah?
you've got my pager.
Right.
They exchange pagers.
Thanks.
Listen, I don't know how often or anyway,
Sam, go. You don't know who I am. I get it.
it's just that people in the media would pay a lot of money for this.
I know. Just go. It's okay.
Sam turns and goes. Laurie closes the door behind him as we fade out. End of Act 3. Act 4. Fade in. Interior Northwest Executive Entrance Day. Kathy is waiting for Sam when he walks through the door and passes the metal detector.
You're late.
I'm having kind of a weird day.
Leo's daughter's class is waiting with their teacher and a couple of the parents in the Roosevelt room.
I don't know what to say to them.
You're supposed to tell them about the building and its history. Do you need anything?
I need someone to tell me about the building and its history.
Just fake it.
They're outside the door to the Roosevelt room.
Which one is Leo's daughter?
What does it matter?
I want to make a good impression. What does she look like?
I don't know.
Okay, I really want to thank you for your help.
Cut to interior Roosevelt room day. A dozen 9-year-olds are sitting around a large table along with 2 parents and a young teacher, Mallory O'Brien. Sam enters.
Hi, I'm sorry to be late.
Oh, Mr. Seaborn, I'm Mallory O'Brien.
Hi.
And these are the 4th graders at Clear Lake Elementary School who wrote the best essays on why they wanted to visit the White House.
Well, that's just great. Why don't we get started?
Throughout this, the 9-year-olds will be transfixed by Sam without understanding a word that he's saying. Mallory and the parents will grow slightly concerned.
My name is Sam Seaborn, and I'm the Deputy Communications Director. What does that mean exactly? Well, to begin with, I'm a counselor to the president, mostly on domestic matters, though generally not security related. I work with Toby Ziegler, the communications director, and CJ Craig, the press secretary, on crafting our message and getting it out through electronic and print media. And while my functions here are generally perceived to be politically skewed, it's important to remember that it's not the DNC, but rather your tax dollars that pay my salary. So I work for you, whether you voted for us or not.
Mr. Seaborn, maybe you could give us some history?
Sure. I graduated law school 7 years ago and started working for Dewey Ballantine, where I was...
Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt. Actually, I meant a history of the building.
Of the White House.
Yes.
Sure. Well, the White House, as you know, was built several years ago. Mostly, if I'm not mistaken, out of cement. The room we're in right now is the Roosevelt Room, named for our 16th president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Kids, sit tight for a second. I need to speak with Mr. Seaborn.
Sam follows Mallory out into the corridor. Interior corridor, continuous action.
I'm sorry to be rude, but are you a moron?
In this particular area, yes.
The 16th president was Andrew Johnson, and the Roosevelt Room was named for Theodore.
Really?
There's like a 6-foot painting on the wall of Teddy Roosevelt.
I should have put 2 and 2 together. Look, the thing is, while there are a really great many things I can speak about with authority, I'm not very good at talking about the White House.
You're the White House communications deputy, and you're not good at talking about the White House?
Ironic, isn't it?
I don't believe this.
Mallory starts to go back in.
Wait, do me a favor, please. Can you point out Leo Jacoby's daughter?
Why?
If I could make eye contact with her, make her laugh, see that she has a good time, it'd go a long way toward making my life easier.
These children worked very hard, all of them, and I'm not very inclined at the moment to make your life easier.
Miss O'Brien, I understand your feelings, but please believe me when I tell you that I'm a nice guy who's having a bad day. I just found out that the New York Times is about to publish a poll which tells us that a considerable portion of Americans believe the White House has lost focus and energy, a perception that's not likely to be altered by the video footage of the president riding a bicycle into a tree. As we speak, the Coast Guard is fishing Cuban refugees out of the Atlantic Ocean while the governor of Florida wants to blockade the port of Miami. My best friend's about to get fired because he went on television and made sense. And to top it all off, it turns out I accidentally slept with a prostitute last night. Now, would you please, in the name of compassion, tell me which one of those kids in there is my boss's daughter?
That would be me.
You?
Yes.
Leo's daughter's 4th grade class.
Yes.
Well, this is bad on so many levels.
Interior White House main hall day. This is the grand red carpeted hall, off of which are the official receiving rooms. Josh, Donna, CJ, Toby, and a few aides walk briskly down the west wing.
They're gonna try and bait you, Josh. You understand what I'm saying?
Lord Russell, yeah, that'll last.
Are you listening to me?
They're gonna try to bait me.
There's some press in there. They want you to say something arrogant.
Like he needs baiting for that.
Aye.
Hi, good afternoon.
This is said as they turn into the open doors of Interior Map Room Continuous Action. The Reverend Al Caldwell, along with Mary Marsh, John Van Dyke, and a few other Christian family reps are seated or standing and sipped office. Billy and a few reporters stand at the side.
We apologize for running a bit behind today.
That's quite all right. How's the president's health?
It's a mild sprain. He'll be fine.
Good, good. You all know Mary Marsh and John Van Dyke?
Yes.
They all say their hellos.
Reverend Caldwell, we're happy that you and some of your colleagues could talk with us today. As you know, the president makes the usual Sunday morning radio address, and in a few weeks we've got scheduled...
Toby, if I may interrupt, the goals and the spirit of Christian and family-oriented organizations in this country, while embraced by a great and growing number of its citizens, have been met with hostility and contempt by this administration. Yesterday morning, on the television program, Meet the Press, that contempt was given a voice and a face and a name. I'm referring, of course, to you, sir.
Yes, I know, and I'm glad you brought that up, Reverend.
I was surprised at you, Josh. I always counted you as a friend.
And I'm honored by that, Reverend. First, let me say when I spoke on that program, I wasn't speaking for the president or this administration. That's important to know. Second, please allow me to apologize. My remarks were smug and self-righteous. I was going for the cheap laugh, and anyone who's willing to step forward and debate ideas deserves better than a political punchline. Miss Marsh, you deserve better in my hands, and I apologize.
Well, I suppose the final justice is that you'll probably lose your job.
Now, Mary.
No, sir, she's right. I probably will.
You people, that New York sense of humor, it always...
Mary, there's absolutely no
Please, Reverend. They think it's smart talk, but nobody else does.
I'm actually from Connecticut.
Yes, but she meant Jewish.
A stunned silence. Everyone stares at Toby.
When she said, you people and your New York sense of humor, she was talking about me and you, Josh.
You know what, Toby? Let's just not even go there.
There's been an apology. Let's move on.
Please. In my opinion, in the opinion of millions upon millions of American families, being able to walk to our corner newsstand and buy pornography for $3 is too high of a price to pay for my freedom of expression. In my opinion, and in the opinion of millions upon millions of Americans, we ask you, where is it written that a school can't allow time for children to sit in silent prayer?
The First Amendment.
The First Amendment. The first commandment?
Amendments.
Because the first commandment is thou shalt not kill.
John.
That's the second commandment. The first commandment is honor thy father.
I said amendment.
Honor thy father is third or fourth.
Then what's the first?
And from the doorway, a man standing with the help of a cane speaks. That's you, Vicky.
I am the Lord your God. Thou shalt worship no God before me.
And the man, of course, is President Josiah Bartlett, Democrat of New Hampshire and descendant of one of the original signers of the Declaration. Looking every bit the country lawyer, you wouldn't immediately guess that he's brilliant, which he is. While the left hand is lulling you with folksy calm, you don't even hear the right hand hook coming. To the right, and 2 paces behind Bartlett, is Charlie, holding a duffel bag and a briefcase, 19 years old, fresh-faced, in Brooks Brothers suit. Charlie is taking a year off from Georgetown to work as the president's personal aide.
Boy, those were the days, huh?
Everyone is standing.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Al, what do we got here, CJ?
Well, we've got some hot tempers, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'm Mary Marsh of the AVF. I was just posing this question. If I can get pornography for $3 at any newsstand, isn't that too high a price to pay for a free pass?
No, it's not.
I see.
On the other hand, I do think $3 is too high a price to pay for pornography.
Why don't we all sit down?
No, let's not. They won't be staying that long.
Another frightened silence while everyone waits to hear what Bartlett has to say.
Al, how many times have I asked you to denounce the practices of a group calls themselves the Lambs of Christ?
Sir, it's not up to me to.
Crap! It is up to you.
Leo and Sam, with Kathy in tow, appear in the doorway and slip quietly into the room.
My wife, Abby, she never wants me to do anything while I'm upset. Well, 28 years ago, I come home from a bad day at the State House. I tell Abby I'm going out for a drive. I get in the station wagon, put the car in reverse, pull out of the garage full speed, except I forgot to open the garage door. Abby didn't want me to drive while I was upset, and she was right. I mean, she was right yesterday when she told me not to get on that damn bicycle when I was upset. But I did it anyway, and I was just about as furious as I've ever been in my life. I mean, seems my granddaughter, Annie, had given an interview in one of those, teen magazines, and in between rock stars and makeup tips, she talked about her feelings on a woman's right to choose. Now, Annie, all of 13, has always been precocious. Now, but she's got a hell of a head on her shoulders, and I like it when she speaks her mind. So I couldn't understand it when her mother called me in tears yesterday. I said, Elizabeth, what's wrong? And she said, it's Annie. Now, I love my family and I've read my Bible, so I want you to tell me, from what part of Scripture do you suppose the Lambs of Christ drew their divine inspiration when they sent my 13-year-old granddaughter a bloody, raggedy Ann doll with a knife stuck through its throat? You'll denounce those people, Al. You'll do it publicly, and until you do, you can all get your fat asses out of my White House.
Everyone is frozen.
Charlie, show these folks out, would you?
I believe we can find the door.
Find it now.
Mary Marsh, Van Dyke, Caldwell, and others make a slow, silent exit.
We'll fix this.
Well, you'll see that you do.
They're gone. Okay, can I just say that, as it turns out, I was the calmest person in the room.
She was calling us New York Jews, Josh.
Yes, but being from Connecticut, I didn't mind so much. You, CJ, on the other hand, were brilliant. I especially liked the part where you said absolutely nothing at all.
You mean I forgot to mention that Mandy's sleeping with Lloyd Russell?
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to put an end to that.
Hi, Mr. President. How was your trip? How's the ankle?
How's Annie?
Annie's upset, Donna. Thanks for asking.
During this, Margaret, Leo's secretary, brings him a note, which he'll read over.
Seems to me we've all been taking a little break, thinking about our personal lives or thinking about keeping our jobs. Nothing wrong with taking a break. Breaks are good, and I know how hard you all work.
Leo slips Bartlett a note.
I was thinking about this time Annie came to me with a news clipping. Theologians in South America were very excited because a little girl in Chile had sliced open a tomato and the flesh of the tomato spelled out the Lord's Prayer. The theologians commented that they thought this was an extremely impressive girl. Annie commented that she felt this was an extremely impressive tomato. I don't know what made me think of that.
During that story, Bartlett glanced at the note he was handed and now tells the rest of the group about it.
Naval intelligence reports approximately 1,200 Cubans left Havana this morning. Approximately 700 turned back due to severe weather. Some 350 are missing and are presumed dead. 137 have been taken into custody in Miami and are seeking asylum. With the clothes on their backs, they came through a storm, and the ones that didn't die want a better life, and they want it here. Talk about impressive. My point is this. Break's over.
Bartlett turns to leave and stops to give Josh a paternal pat on the shoulder.
Too busy getting indicted for tax fraud. Don't ever do it again.
Bartlett is gone, followed by Charlie as we fade to black. The end. All right. Well done, amigas.
That was a quick read.
That was. That's I guess we'll talk more about that after our little break if those need it. But that's I guess the difference of a lot of dialogue and not a lot of action description. But all right. I'm sure Vicky probably needs a glass of water after that voice right there, and other us might need to release a little water. So talk to you guys in 5-ish minutes at 15 or 16. All right. And then we'll talk more about the West Wing. Mhm.
Well, I tell you, if I had realized that Bartlett was Martin Sheen, I wouldn't have chosen that voice. Yeah.
What voice would you have chosen?
I'm not sure, but it definitely wouldn't have been a gruff voice like that. No.
Yeah, if you knew it was going to be a whole speech like Paige. It's gonna be-
Well, and actually, things are really clearing out. My husband found a recipe. It's very basic. It's mostly ginger, bay leaf, and cloves, little honey, and water, and it's clearing me out. I've had no coughing because we know those voices can make me cough, and yeah, I'm doing a lot better that way.
Awesome. Yeah, it did seem like you handled that smoothly. I just, yeah, if even for me, when I try and do voices like that, I get that sometimes too, where my throat, I feel it in here, and like
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it without that.
It's happened with me more after like what do you call it when you do the noises, the
Sound effects.
sound effects, the aggressions? That's not what you call them. Anyway, when you're doing the grunting and like the oh and then it's like
Yeah.
All right, we'll get started on more of the after discussion. And Heather brought up the good point that this was a quick read, like almost real time, not quite,
It was
but
a very fast read. It took an hour.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I looked it up. I guess according to IMDb, it's a 42-minute episode. Probably made for an hour with like commercials.
Yeah, but we were really on pace. It felt like an episode almost the way we read it.
Yeah, we're on top of it. That was awesome. And again, I think like we pointed out, like I was looking at this little when doing some of the casting because not to read a thing and do action description because sometimes that's too much. But then I saw for the most part, there wasn't much action in description. I mean, they had a few spots of like 3 little paragraphs, but the most part is just talking, then a line, then talking and a little line. I'm like, okay, can do both in that case. So that was interesting about the script. Who else notices anything else or wants to highlight something else?
I think that for just being 6 of us, we did a great job of covering all of the characters.
Agree.
These characters obviously have some complex personal lives.
Which makes for a good TV show.
Yeah.
And as kind of like you allude to there, Roxanne, is like the 6 of us, like basically this is a cold read. We just got the script and read it right now. So any of our, pausing or hesitations, if any of us were casting something, we would have a chance to read beforehand and practice and get more out of it. So
I've been around almost since the beginning of this, and this group has improved so much in cold reads since the beginning. I have to comment on that because I've been around since the beginning, so I've noticed such an improvement on how the cold reads have progressed and improved and how everybody has progressed as actors, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it is, and you all amazing. Like I wasn't saying any of us did bad because of that. I was just showing like
no, Jacob. It's just something I've noticed. We've all improved and grown as actors throughout this thing since it started.
Yeah, I'd say that some of that is like knowing the people you're working with and how they're going to deliver a line. That you can like sort of anticipate things now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Or maybe we've just grown comfortable with each other in the 2 years we've been doing this.
Also, everybody did a good job at like doing different voices too. Separating their characters from each other.
One of the things I thought was interesting is because my computer is having some issues, I actually have to hide everybody. So I only see the script. Otherwise, my computer sounds like it's going to explode. And there were some times that I was like, I'm not sure who's reading that character, which I just thought was very, very cool.
Yeah. I also only see the script. So yeah, it was the same. We got Heather pulling out Southern accents. Vicky swallowed a frog.
I have to because one of the characters I'm playing in this thing I'm doing that's for December is Southern, so I have to practice. Actually, two of them, I guess, are Southern. I have to practice sounding Southern and Western, and yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I'm
should have
glad you were able.
specified American Southern.
I'm glad you
Roxane
were
had
able to
the
share
the
some
Well,
of
it's
that
more
with
of
us.
a like
pot-smoking lady.
Midwest, like Western, but it's like you have to talk with that kind of accent in it.
Sorry, what did you say, Erin? I had the what?
I said Roxane with her pot-smoking lady. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
that was good. So
I was just trying to go fast because I think that was what I remember most from The West Wing was that everybody talks with a high speed intensity.
yeah, and on that note, you brought up something before we went live that you can maybe share.
Yeah, I
with everybody watching.
believe that this West Wing or Aaron Sorkin invented the walk and talk, which is there's a lot of action description. I noticed in the script there was the continue, like the conversation from one room continues into the next room. So they're always talking and they're always moving.
Yeah, this might be one of the times where like, because a lot of times people say, "Oh, those don't matter." The cut to that this, but that in this scene, this script, it may matter because continuous shows that vibe and continuance, not breaking it up.
Everybody's in a
And
hurry. Everybody's
yeah,
on the move.
and lots of times for people, they would say like for scripts like this would almost be the death of where people are just talking, especially if they're just sitting in one spot and they're just talking. Then people might watch and go, "This is not interesting." But like in the show of them constantly walking and talking and being quicker, it keeps the energy of it, even though it's just sharing dialogue. So
Yeah, now you see it all the time in like medical shows.
Right.
yeah,
And also, I think like just generally, I remember when it was on. I didn't watch it regularly, but my mother did, so I was always in the room and it was on. That like it took something that was a mystery, the inside of the White House, and like showed it. Well, this is really what it's like. It's just like an office. It has office dynamics. It has drama. It has people sleeping with each other and blah blah blah. But also the president's there. It was interesting.
we shared a story on our Instagram page that I think it was somebody that worked at the White House, and people would go there and like say, "Oh, it's like the West Wing or whatever," and he would say like, "No, it's nothing like the West Wing." And then at that moment, for some odd reason, Rob Lowe came walking around the corner, and they're like, "Yeah,
It almost has like a Law and Order type feel to it, where everybody's busy all the time and they have specific roles, but yet they also have interpersonal drama
I
and
believe
personal drama.
Aaron Sorkin made another show that was kind of like it came out at the same time as 30 Rock. It was like a competing show, and it was also about like an SNL, Saturday Night Live type of show, but it was an Aaron Sorkin version, but they were always walking and talking and getting ready for comedy.
oh, maybe Studio 60 on the Sunset
Studio,
Script."
yeah, that one.
Mhm.
Well, I think the pacing has a lot to do with the fact that, this, while you would think politics is not necessarily funny or comedic, this is probably serious business. They don't talk about Cubans, coming to the coast. There is a lot of humor in this play, and the quick dialogue really helped with that.
Yeah, you brought that up in our chat, and I totally agree. Like, there's some things that like I found myself like smiling, like stopping from laughing. Like the writing was very funny and clever, like that.
A lot of sarcasm.
Mhm. True. One thing I found interesting is that the script at the very beginning of it, it says at the bottom, "Final draft." And I watched the show a couple times in the last few days. That's the only one I've seen, the first episode, and there's quite a few differences from the what's aired and then what's in the script. Like the Mandy's assistant, I forget what her name is.
Daisy.
Daisy, thank you. She's not even in the show at all. That whole in the office thing, talking about the boxes, talking with the movers, none of that is in the show. There's like a hint at some of that happens while she's driving. At the little other small differences at the beginning, like this could be to save money. Like there's the one where CJ's running outside when she gets the beeper information, and instead she's like in a gym and she's on a treadmill. And so there's just quite a few different things, and some bigger than others, that are different from the script. One small things too is like they increased some of the numbers of how much things cost. Like the pornography from in here was $3 dollars, and in the show they switched it to $5. And on how much the Maddie person got paid, like in here I forget if it said 750,000 or whatever, but on the show she gets 900,000. So I'm not sure like at what point or how that stuff changed, but
I wonder if
was-
it's a difference between like when he wrote the pilot and when it actually was getting made. Could it have
Mhm.
been like several years and the cost of living went up?
I was wondering that too. Or they talk to people and they're like, no, people make more than that. Or have you bought porn lately? It's not, no, I don't know, but yeah. That makes sense.
I'm
What
actually
else?
getting a little tired.
All right, you get to go to bed for us.
Yes, I'm gonna bow
Early
out.
night on Tuesdays. So
Yes. What are we doing next week?
that's a good question. Let's see. Next week we are reading. Gotta do that slower so it takes longer for it to pop up and get to it. Oh, something very, very different. And hopefully Clint is feeling well enough and can be a part of this, because I think that's why we chose this one, or we might switch it around for that. Natural Born Killers. So that's currently what's the schedule. And then
I'm gonna try and get my daughter to put her name
well,
in.
all
Yeah,
right.
she really likes that movie, so maybe.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. And then after that we have Sweet Tooth, which is very different than that one. And then and the next one I think we're gonna switch. I thought we already had, but it's Adventure Time, which is more of like going through storyboards, and then Power Rangers, like both of them, because they were a lot shorter. So we were gonna maybe try and do 2, but we'll see how that goes. That's the current plan. But all right, Heather,
Okay.
thank you for being here.
Have a good night, everyone.
Night.
Night.
Bye.
Anything else you guys noticed? Think about it.
I really appreciated the humor.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Kat mentioned that beforehand. And it was actually, even with her saying that, it was more than I expected. And I fortunately was muted when I did laugh right out loud. If I had been unmuted, it would have just came out. So yeah.
I think the dialogue was written so well and it flowed so easily.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of suggestion about character, but you could completely pick up tone from the dialogue, which is a sign of a really great dialogue, right?
Yeah.
I guess this goes to show like there's a reason Aaron Sorkin is famous for this type of thing, like his dialogue and his writing.
Does anybody, or did anybody watch Veep?
I have not. I heard a lot of good things about it, but I haven't.
I saw
So
one episode. It was pretty hilarious, but I have not watched
It's
it more.
very, very funny, and it's a completely different kind of look at the inside of the White House. But I wonder if it would have been something like, without having West Wing, a glimpse into the White House, if that would have been acceptable.
Interesting. I also was looking at the IMDb and realized that before The West Wing, he wrote the rom-com The American President.
There's I think we shared this clip on the Instagram story thing too. A thing that I came across is that he was going to have a meeting with somebody, like a lunch or whatever with somebody, and he thought he was just going for lunch, and I might get the order mixed up about if his friend before said it or this happened at the meeting. Yeah, before he went, someone said like the American President, like that would make a good, like remove the romance thing and that'd make a good TV show. And so he went to the lunch, and the person across the way was like, hey, what are you working on? He's like, he had nothing planned, nothing to pitch, nothing thought just for lunch. And he's all, oh, a TV series of the West of American President. The guy's all, you got it, done. And like it came about that way. Whatever. I do like that show, that movie a lot, The American President, and Dave, if anyone hasn't seen that.
Dave is good, yeah.
Oh.
Looks like he did
Really?
another one called Sports Night, like coexisting at the same time as.
Then he's
Yeah,
got
West
one
Wing.
newsroom. Like he's got some
Yeah.
similar themes with things that he writes, for sure.
Some
Charlie Wilson's War.
fast-paced offices.
Mhm.
He wrote A Few Good Men.
Wow. I mean, according on IMDb, like maybe there's more, maybe it's not going all the way to the bottom, but according to IMDb, that's his first one. Like that's a way to come out of the gate, huh?
Yeah.
Be a good minute. Yeah, that's the thing. Some people say about writers too. I see a lot of people on like Facebook, like or other beginners say a certain thing, and then you hear all their other professionals correct them. And what a lot of starting out writers say, like, okay, yeah, those famous writers can write that way because they're famous. But when they started, they had to follow all these rules and stuff to break in. But then all the professional writers say, no, they've always written that way. That's the way they wrote. That's how got them to like get to where they are. They don't just change suddenly once they get popular. So yeah. So I haven't read the Few Good Men script, but I'm guessing that might be the same case with him there and him here. Although it felt like for the most part, this followed a lot of the rules of like having short dialogue pieces, except for the speech, and very, very short action descriptions. There's maybe a couple things he said that aren't really things that you can visualize, that are kind of more describing what the person's going through or so. Sorry, don't mean to capitalize.
No. I like
Huh?
the I was gonna say, yeah, the short action description, but also what do you describe when you're primarily in an office? So here's an office, there's a printer on a table, there's a computer, there's a phone. They go to another room, it's also an office. Looks just like that.
Yeah, leaving that stuff up to the art directors or whatever, the
Yeah.
people that have that job. But like you said, when it's a more common thing, you can get away with a lot more because it's like people have an idea of how that stuff looks.
I like the description in the call girl's apartment about the kitchen utensils on the wall. Yeah, actually made it into the dialogue itself.
Which I don't remember that being in the show. I don't think that line, those few lines there, made it to the episode.
Well, now I want to watch the show. I don't think I ever watched West Wing. My mom was a huge fan of West Wing. I think she watched it every week. I don't think I've ever watched an episode.
Yeah, this was
Yeah,
my first
that's,
time. It's currently on Max.
It's where it was probably not where he got his start, but that's where Bradley Whitford became one of my mom's favorite actors.
Who's Bradley Whitford?
He played the one you played, Josh.
Oh, okay.
My mom was a big Martin Sheen fan, of course.
Mhm.
Lily Tomlin was in the show at some point. Wasn't she his personal secretary, maybe? I don't remember.
Oh, am I thinking the wrong? Oh, I was thinking of Janny, who's CJ. I didn't know Lily.
Yeah, Allison Janney was CJ. Stockard Channing was the first lady.
There were quite a bit of, like, there were some really good names in this.
Mhm.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean of actors?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. Well, I am also going to call it a night. I don't
Agreed.
think I have much else to say. It was a great script, fun read. Loved it.
100% agree. Yeah, great script, great read. You guys all did awesome, keeping it going, keeping it entertaining. That like this was surprising. It was fun. Not the you guys, but like a political show, our
Yeah.
show being that kind of entertaining. So well done, everyone.
Yeah.
And
Also fun to see the callbacks of like everybody using pagers.
yeah, and switching. Yeah,
That's a little
interesting.
throwback, isn't it?
What's a pager? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Jacob.
A pager that had a text message on it? That was really, I don't remember that being a thing. But anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Well, I was going to call it as well, but we'll say goodnight to you, Roxanne. I have one other question for people, so I'll do that before we say goodbye for everyone.
Oh, well, if you just got one more question, I'll stick.
I think it could lead to more. POTUS, like, again, I'm not a political person at all, but like that feels like common knowledge these days. I don't know if it's because of Twitter. I don't know if it's because of something else, but They mentioned at the beginning of this. Did that not seem like a common thing to you guys at that time?
You know,
or-
well, at the time, I never saw this episode. Didn't really hear POTUS until later, until Twitter. So no, it was not common knowledge for unpolitical people.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good example that even if it's not common knowledge for everybody, that they may have to explain that at the beginning for a show to teach the audience. All right, we're against the cat. So
Oh, I was just saying that was the first thing I noticed was that POTUS, you know, like how can she not know what that is? Sorry for the background noise. But yeah, it's like this was a script. I figured it had to be a little bit more dated because of that scene right there. That was a giveaway.
yeah, IMDb says this came out not when it's written, but came out in '99. Yeah, so 24 years ago. This first episode, at least. But yeah. All right.
That's pre-Facebook.
Yeah. Which is ironic because he then wrote the Social Network movie.
Which is awesome. Great writing and dialogue and high paced. Then again, in other hands, would have been very, very boring and been a flop, and we would have never watched it and maybe never got made of it. So, any other thoughts before we call it? Anybody? All right, then. I'll see you guys in the Oval Office.
I do.